is King Cobra JFS, and you are watching the worst of the worst, the show that checks out the worst of the internet. Now here's your host, Brendan. Fuck sickos and fuck the trolls.
Time to start the worst of all the shit we heard of. Got no time for kids, so let's start the worst
Hello, welcome to another episode of The Worst Of. This show takes a look at all the worst parts of the internet. I am your host, Brandon, and before we get into today's topic, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to follow us on X over at Worst of Pod. Come say hello, leave suggestions, things you want to see me cover, tell me to fuck off, all that fun shit. So, Cyraxx is back at it once again, revamping his channel. He went from playing shitty Game Boy covers off of a terrible emulator to going back to doing his karaoke covers, sing-alongs that he's been known for. But he just posted a new video last night where he went live and described that he's got new plans, big changes for the channel and his online career. So I thought it'd be fun for us to take a look and see what he has to say about it. So here we go.
I mostly just wanted to pop on here and talk about the direction of the channel and everything that kind of led me up to making the decision that I made for the channel and basically what's going to be happening from here on out. Basically what's going to happen is from here on out, here in like 10 days, I am going to be switching the name of the channel entirely to the name of my last stream, which is Unwritten Recovery, and that's for a very important reason. Over the last 8 years, I've been through hell and back.
God, we're going to go through all this bullshit again. This is another fucking sob story from Cyraxx where he goes through his entire history and we learn about how he's been a victim of cyberbullying and internet terrorism for 8 years. How he's just been tormented on a regular basis because he's the victim. Let's not forget that.
I've dealt with a lot of the worst shit that anyone could ever deal with. Everything from deaths in my family, deaths of friends, the loss of loved ones.
And he's telling the truth because he's got his eyes closed when he's saying all that shit. He can't look at the camera and tell the truth, so he's got to close his eyes and lie. He hasn't lost people. This is just fucking ridiculous.
Some of the darkest stuff that anybody could ever have to deal with. And it's not been easy. It's actually been very, very difficult. It's been very hard. And this is something that I've seriously sat down with my family and some of my closest friends and actually talked to them about. And I know a lot of people are already going to have their opinions about me, and I'm sure there's people in the comments right now already, running their mouths, talking shit, whatever, and it is what it is. But
yeah, those people are always there. You mean the ones who actually watch you? You don't have actual fans. People don't support you in real life. Like, the only people who comment on your shit are trolls and people who don't like you. That's all it is. So yeah, they've been commenting the entire time.
I personally feel like ever since Music Biz Marty made me a target, I feel like a lot of people have a misconception about me. And I truly feel like a lot of people have been robbed of getting to know the real me. Because that me that Music Biz Marty made me into Yeah, that was me, but it wasn't me.
No, that's you. Don't sit there and say that it was me, but it wasn't me. Like, no, it was you. Marty just brought it out of you. But that's who you really are. You're a rage addicted fucking pedophile who is sick and twisted in the head and with terrible fucking hygiene. Like, Marty didn't do anything to you that you weren't already doing to yourself.
It's not who I wanted to be. I never wanted to be that person that he morphed me into. I never wanted to be that kind of person that lashed out and said stuff out of pocket. I understand that, I said a lot of fucked up shit. And, and I get it.
You've also done a lot of fucked up shit. Don't just sit there and be like, well, I said some fucked up things, so, whatever. No, you've also exposed yourself online. You've jerked off on camera. You thought people you thought were underage. Like, you've done terrible things. It's not just because you say shit. That's not why people are into you.
But at the same time, I don't think a lot of people really understand that when I said those things, I was not in a very good state of mind.
Doesn't excuse it at all.
I was dealing with so much in my life and was being attacked so fucking much. And my family was reaching out for help to all, to everybody that we could. Like, we were all reaching out. We were reaching out to police, to FBI, to detectives, Homeland Security. Like, we were reaching out to all these people for help. And at one point, I even reached out to the suicide hotline.
What's the suicide hotline going to do? They don't help people. That's just a fucking joke. But oh no, I've reached out to all these people and no one wanted to help me, so I'm forever the victim bullshit. I'm just so sick of hearing it. He needs to come up with something different to say.
Just to seek some sort of solace, to seek some sort of help. And unfortunately, we never got anything in return. And that kind of led me down to that road of lashing out and saying stuff that I do genuinely and honestly regret. Like, I do genuinely regret a lot of the fucked up shit that I've said. I do regret a lot of the shit that I've done in my past, the way I've handled stuff.
Do you have any examples? Because we can name a few. How many times did you drop the N-word at Marty or anybody who upset you? How many times did you expose yourself on camera in order to try to get Marty's streams taken down? How many times did you assault people with baseball bats who were just on your neighborhood? They weren't on your property. How many people have you fucked with, Chance? It's a lot. It's a lot of people.
But when you're backed into a corner and you're being attacked so much, it's stressful. It really is stressful, and it's hard. It can be very, very difficult to deal with. And because my life got brought up so fast on the internet, because people started digging in to me so fast and just really looking into me like, oh, well, let's see this guy's past, let's see what he did. Like, I don't think anybody really got to know the real me, and I feel like...
Of course they did. People dug into your past. You just said it. They got to know who you were. And whose fault is it for them digging into your past when you put your past out there online? But come on, this unreal expectation that he has of being the victim is just ridiculous.
Like, a lot of you guys got robbed of that opportunity to actually get to know me as a person. A lot of you guys never got to see the fun side of me. The side of me that's actually happy, that wants to do good, that wants to, make you guys smile. The me that I used to be before all this. Because before all this stuff went down, yes, I was online, but I wasn't on YouTube at that time. When I first started doing live streams, I was on Facebook way back in the day. Like, that's where I started out at. And back then, I enjoyed it. I fully and truly, absolutely loved what I did. I really did. I absolutely enjoyed every second of it.
As opposed to now, when your life is miserable, and what? Are you forced into making online content now? Is that what it is? Like you're just forced to do it. Someone's holding you at gunpoint, and it's making you sick on a daily basis. You just can't stand it. You have to get up and do shitty karaoke covers to the same songs that you do every stream. Yeah, you know what? I take it back. That would drive me insane too. Maybe if you did different songs, it wouldn't bug you so much. But you sing the same fucking 10 songs every night. It's unreal.
Because back then, I was just hanging out with my friends. I was, doing local shows for my music almost every other week. I was, working on a vlog channel that I had at the time. I also started doing a little bit of urban exploration at the time too, because there was a few places that have been since torn down that I decided that I wanted to explore because Summit Lake has so much history behind it that I was like, yo, let me see if there's any really cool places that I can go check out and see, like, whether they're old buildings, old landmarks, doing whatever I could to kind of, have fun with what I was doing.
I'd love to see Cyraxx do urban exploring and like trying to find historical landmarks and like thinking that he knows about the actual history of things because he wouldn't know. He would just find an abandoned, rundown building and go, "Oh wow, there must be so much history behind this." Like, there's no actual context to it. There's no real point to any of it. It's like all of his other failed attempts to try to make media.
And soon after that, I started working on short films. And what led me to doing short films was I had actually seen a video that one of my favorite YouTubers that actually inspired me to start doing YouTube as a career and started taking it seriously was Jacksepticeye and his short film that he had released around 2018 where it was just himself, just, him filming.
Oh god, the fucking mouth noises and sucking on his teeth and swallowing his spit is just so obnoxious. I wish this guy would do something about it. It's fucking gross.
And creating this beautiful masterpiece of a video that to this day I still fully enjoy watching. And that kind of led me into that. And that's when obviously I came out with the film The Darkness. I also started working on some other projects too that I would like to eventually start working on again. One of them is actually a very important piece to me that I would like to start working on at some point, which is a film about suicide and how cyberbullying and trolling and how all that bad stuff can actually lead to suicide. And, and I get a lot of people hate me for,
I'd love to see Cyraxx's one-man play on suicide prevention and awareness. Like, what would that be like? I mean, it couldn't be any better than The Darkness. The Darkness was just cinema masterpiece. It was glorious in how terrible it was. Written, performed, the execution, direction, all of it was pointless. It didn't go anywhere. There was no actual conclusion to it. And then it's full of copywritten like audio and video edits. The Darkness is just fucking train wreck, and we've gone through it on this show. It was the very first episode of The Worst Of. I might have to revisit it again at some point. It's great. It's worth that. But he's also done like The Talking Wrench and whatnot. There's other things that short films that he's worked on that aren't great. I don't understand what makes him think that he's good enough at this to continue doing it. The level of delusion with this man is just unreal.
the fact that Marty tricked me, what he tricked me into. And I get it, you know, I shouldn't have fell for that shit. And you guys would be right to say that and to think that.
Oh, you mean when you got busted for being a pedophile? You shouldn't have fallen for that. Yeah, that might have been a good thing if you were smart enough not to get busted on that one. But it doesn't change who you are. You know, even if you didn't get caught on that, you're still a fucking sick freak.
And believe me, I do regret falling for that trick that he did. You know, I do regret falling for that entrapment that he did. I do feel bad about that. It does suck. Because as a result of that, my whole life got turned upside down. You know, my whole life got fucked up because of that. Now, am I to fully blame? No. He is definitely part of it. You know, he's definitely has a part to blame. You know, and I just find it very messed up that no one's holding him accountable for what he's done and for what he did in his side of the things.
They are holding him accountable for what he did. But what he did was great in exposing you for being the fucking pervert that you are, for being the degenerate that you are. You know, it's a good thing what Marty did. So yeah, they're not giving him shit the way that they're giving you shit.
Which I think, you know, that's very fucked up that nobody's holding him accountable for making me a target to begin with.
Plus, he's dead, so how can you?
And for all you guys that do want to see me do good, that do want to see me do better, just let me say that I apologize for you guys not getting to see who I could really be to begin with. You know, I don't feel that it was fair that you guys got robbed of, you know, watching me, you know, grow as not only a content creator, but I've been robbed of a lot of my channels in the past. I've been robbed of a lot of content.
Yeah, sure. You were robbed. This is fucking victim bullshit. He wasn't robbed of any of his YouTube channels. He took them all down. You know, even when he would get this close to monetization and the success that he desperately craves so much, he took his shit down. It wasn't because people were reporting him, although I'm sure that was going on, but his channels didn't get deleted. He deleted them. That's all it is. He's done it every single time, and he'll come out with a new channel and he'll rebrand it, and he'll come out with a new channel and then he'll change the name of it, and he'll do that over and over again until he's tired of it, and then he'll delete it, and then another one will come up and he thinks he's gotten away from the trolls and they find it anyway, because that's what happens. Like, he's never going to escape it. But to sit there and say that he's the victim of all that shit is ridiculous, because he's the one that's doing that. He could still probably have his original channel up if it wasn't taken down by him.
Eventually, I would like to start my own merchandise line.
Oh, that's
to,
rich.
You know, help inspire people to do better every day. If I can find it, there's this thing that I wrote several years ago. Actually, it was more like, yeah, it was like 8, 9 years ago. Or no, it wasn't even 8, 9 years ago. It was like maybe 3.5 years ago.
Well, that's a gap. Like, it could have been 10, 12 years ago or last week when I wrote this thing. Like, come on, dude. That's fucking ridiculous. You didn't do it. You're lying. Whatever it is you're about to say, you're lying 100%.
I was watching this video that I came across by this guy named Too Long, who, if you guys have ever played Call of Duty, he actually did the voice character. He did the voiceover for the character Ronin for Call of Duty, which honestly is one of my personal favorite characters to this day. But I was watching one of Too Long's videos where he talked about the Book of Five Rings. And I sat down and I really thought about my situation. And I came up with this thing called the 10 Keys to Zen and a Happier Life. And what I would eventually like to do is turn that into something. You know, put that on like clothing or, what have you. But first,
So Cyraxx's 10 Commandments, is that what's going to happen? He doesn't care about helping people. Like if he did, he wouldn't be selling this shit. Oh, his first thought is, I'm going to put out merch. And yeah, sure, it's going to be to help people and raise awareness for cyberbullying and all this bullshit. But it's really just about him.
alright. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. I'll be right back.
Okay, so now he's going to leave. He's probably in trouble from Ed yelling at him for God knows what. I mean, the phone's pretty good mic quality if it's going to pick up his fucking stares. That's ridiculous. But while we wait, let's play a little snippet from another Cyraxx classic. Let's get some music going. Why don't we? So this is from one of his latest sing-alongs. It's just going to be him doing his karaoke covers. But because he doesn't have his mic hooked up the way he wants it to, you're not hearing the auto-tune that you usually hear. Instead, it's just Cyraxx singing the way that Cyraxx sounds 100% originally. And it's glorious. So here we go. Let's check that out for the time being.
You gotta say to me, you got to know me up first, I know what I can say. I'm really got to the back to the right, can I like to what you can? Gonna big thing, go inside. Close my eyes. Come my eyes. It's enough to be done for I watch this everything. Here's and now it's time to sink or swim. Better fix up. Right into the it's like a paranoia. I'm back inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's a sun is right beneath the skin. It's like I'm paranoid. Looking over my back. It's like a whirlwind inside of my head. It's like I can't stop what I'm hearing within. It's like a face inside beneath my skin.
Christ, we still have like 30 minutes left to go on this video. I wonder what else he's gonna say. He still hasn't really talked about this new direction for his channel. He started off with that, but then it turned into him being the victim like he always does. So it's a little ridiculous that he says this is about the new direction for his channel when it hasn't been that at all. Oh, sounds like he's coming back.
Hey, what's up everybody, I'm back. I just had to grab dinner real quick. Doing chicken noodle soup and grilled cheese sandwich from there, which I will be eating as soon as I get done with this video. But
alright, keep that in mind. There's still 30 minutes left of this video. He's got his soup soup and grilled cheese, I should say, sitting on the counter waiting for him. It's gonna be so fucking cold when he actually gets down to eat that. It's gonna be disgusting. Like, what's the point in even bringing it up? Like, end of stream, eat dinner, and then come back, dumbass. Or eat while you're talking. That'd be something too. I'm sure the people would love to see you stuffing your face with chicken noodle soup.
I don't know why it's cool, because it's freaking hot as hell, man. But, like I was saying, I just feel like, that nobody has been holding any of these people that have attacked me responsible for what they've done.
Because they're doing
like,
good
I
things.
get where I made my mistakes. I do. I understand that. And, it's the way I handled it was not okay. It was completely fucked up. But another thing that I don't seem to, well, not that I don't get it, but one thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand about me personally is that all those times that I lashed out, all those times where I went off and I started screaming, that wasn't me being funny. That wasn't me trying to put on an act. Those screams were genuinely me being pissed off.
Yeah, We all know that. Don't act like all of a sudden people think you're putting on this character of Cyraxx. Like, that's the whole gimmick. We want to see you rage out because you're genuinely pissed off. That's what's funny to us. It's not, oh, Cyraxx, the hilarious character, is coming back with some fake rage. No, no one wants that. They want the real raw anger that you have. Dumbass.
Me being pissed off at the situation, me genuinely wanting to get away from all that. Like, when I raged out, I get it. You guys find it funny that I rage out. I understand that. And believe me, I get it better than you guys think, because back when I came up on YouTube, back when before I even became a content creator, when I was just a consumer like a lot of you guys, back when I merely watched, I would watch people like Angry Gamer Nerd, Angry German Kid, Angry Grandpa. Like, I used to watch that stuff too, so I get it. I understand that mindset of finding it funny when someone gets pissed off, they rage out, they get pissed off, they do something wild and crazy. I get it. But for me, it wasn't about that. I wasn't trying to put on a show. I wasn't trying to put on an act. I wasn't trying to be funny. All those times when I raged out, I was genuinely and deeply hurt.
Yes, we know that.
Because I did not understand how somebody could be so vile and so evil.
You mean hilarious?
To make someone so angry that they lash out.
What I don't understand is why, if you know you're prone to lashing out in those ways, and you're known to have these incidents happen to you on a regular basis when you go online, why you continue to put yourself out there as if nothing bad's going to happen to you, when that's all it does is happen to you. The level of delusion with this man is unreal. Like, he thinks that he's just going to create a new channel and all of a sudden things are going to be different for him, when all he does is put out the same content over and over again. Like, there's nothing different about you. Like, just because you're not freaking out and raging the way that you used to doesn't mean shit. And you're getting to that point. You had a stream where you were freaking out on someone for a comment they put out this morning, and your internet fucked up or your phone fucked up or whatever happened. The stream got disconnected and lost, so we don't have it anymore. But you're on the verge of raging out to the way you were before. Like, it's about to happen. Don't act like you're holier than thou in this bullshit.
Like, I never understood that. And to this day, I still don't understand the enjoyment of it. Like, I get it, like, it's a funny, like, when it's a funny channel, I get when, people get a laugh out of someone raging out and stuff, and that it's an act, and they're putting on a show. I can understand that. But watching someone purposely get bullied, someone who is raging out and who is genuinely just wanting to live their life, and to make an honest living doing what they truly love, what they've been passionate about for so long. What's so funny about making fun of that person that's dealing with something like that?
Well, allow me to enlighten you, Cyraxx. It's your reaction. 100%, your reaction is what makes that entertaining and funny. And because any reasonable adult, which, by the way, you're an adult, any reasonable adult would have a better knowledge of how to handle the trolls and not react to them the way you do. But because you did that the way that you did, that's what got people's attention to you. So really, this is just all on you. 100%.
And what I don't understand is, why is nobody holding these people like Music Biz Marty, William Glory Hole, N-Word Boy? And all these people that talk negative about me, that have had a direct hand in screwing up my life, why is nobody holding them accountable for what they did? Because like, you don't see Music Biz Marty saying, oh, yeah, I set him up, and here's why I did it. You don't hear him taking accountability for his actions. But let me tell you, there are multiple times where I've came out and admitted that I was fucked up and falling for his trick.
Like when you admitted that you were a pedophile? Is that what you're talking about? That was, I mean, yes, that was a trick, but it just got you to say what we already know.
There are multiple times that have been wiped from YouTube history because these people don't want to let it go. Where I've openly come out and said, yeah, it was fucked up what I did. You know, I shouldn't have fell for it. You know, it was fucked up, I get it. But like I said, and this is what gets me. People like Mastro Mafia don't ever want to tell the real truth. They want to sit there and twist the screenshots and make it look a certain way to benefit them. Because people like her are genuinely evil people.
Or they don't do that and they just know how to get the dirt on you and it comes out because you're a target to them. That's more plausible to me than them faking screen. Like, what's the point? You're so easy to make fun of and you're so easy to get at.
And I've unfortunately had to bear witness to not only what she does, but to what other people like her do for clicks and views. And it's honestly disgusting. And the fact that she got to get away with all that, with pretending to be 18, and then pretending to be underage, and not only that, but sending a fucking photo of her fucking daughter. Do you know how fucked up that is?
How do you know that was her daughter? It could have just been a random kid that they found on the internet. Like, how do you know 100% that that was in fact her daughter? You can't. You can't know that for sure. At all. It's just a ridiculous thing to say. It's just a random child that got sent to you because you got, and now the word came out that you got tricked into thinking that you were talking to an underage girl and you did shit. That's on you. Again, I hate to keep saying it, but it's just ridiculous that he keeps playing this victim card with all this shit. And he wants to talk about taking accountability when he's never taken accountability for any of this shit that's been thrown at him. Instead, he wants to play the victim and act like he's the one who's been wronged here, when it's just not the case.
Like, what kind of sick human being do you have to be to send somebody a photo of your own daughter and pretend that it's you? Like, do you know how disgusting that is? That's not cool. That's not okay. But like I said, the reason why I want to change up this channel to
finally we're getting back to it,
to Unwritten Recovery, is because I am in that process of recovering. I am in that process of getting back to who I used to be before everything. I'm in that process of, healing from, all the bad stuff that I've dealt with. And honestly, that's why I do have a lot of trust issues. It's because of all that. It's not that it's my fault. It's that people kept on tricking me over and over and over and over again. And me being the kind-hearted person that I am,
okay,
I like to believe, and would like to believe, that there's a shred of decency in everybody.
Why? Why would you think that? Again, he's contradicting himself. Like, I keep getting tricked over and over and over and over and over again. But it's because of my generous nature and my kind heart that I see the goodness in everybody, even though I keep getting tricked over and over and over again. It just doesn't make sense.
You know, not everybody is bad people. Not everybody is evil. Not everybody is out to get you. And, you know, and I have found a few people that, have genuinely tried to help me. And to those of you that have tried to help me, I can't thank you guys enough. I really can't. You know, these last few months have been some of the craziest in my life. You know, from October of last year up to February of this year has been one of the craziest times of my life. You know, I go from ending up being with somebody that I've known for 13 plus years to being engaged, and then to ultimately losing them, and then ultimately losing that, not only that person, but also being a dad to their son, who I basically helped to raise.
Again with this bullshit. You never raised that child. It's disgusting the way you talk about this boy and how you want to be. Your obsession with children is ridiculous. Like, you didn't care about Kira and that relationship. You only cared about that relationship so you can get close to that little boy. And that's all that was. And it didn't happen. You didn't have interactions with them. You weren't there since the day he was born like you claimed to be all the fucking time. Like, that's just not the case. These people weren't around you in their lives. Having an online relationship with someone doesn't make it a real relationship. I don't care how you try to spin it. It's just not the case. Without having that physical connection to each other, it doesn't mean anything. You're just chatting.
For their entire life. You know, I had helped my ex Kira raise her son his entire life.
I'd love to see proof of this. Like, I don't know about the rest of you, but I'd like to see one photo of Cyraxx with this family. I'd like to see one video of him playing catch with the son or doing anything that he claims to have done with this child. The way, like, I raised him like he was one of my own. Let's prove it. Because I got tons of pictures of my family. You know, that's what you do when you have a family that you care about, in the way that Cyraxx claims that he cared about this family so much. You get involved. You take pictures with each other. You know, there's proof, documented evidence that you were together. You don't have that.
You know, I basically was there to discipline him when he needed it. I told her if he was doing something bad. You know, I would always make sure that his homework got done. I would always spend time with him, gaming out with him, having fun, playing different racing games with him, you know, drawing with him, playing, you know, silly little family games and stuff, you know.
And you know he's telling the truth because his eyes were closed the entire time he said that. Fucking ridiculous.
And I enjoyed every minute of it. But unfortunately, fate had other plans. Or more or less, she had other plans. And let me tell you, it did hurt watching her walk out. That did hurt. It stinged immensely. Like, it's one of the worst feelings that I had ever felt in my life. Because here's this wonderful, amazing, beautiful woman who I thought the world of. Somebody that I gave up my career for. Somebody that I put my whole life on hold for.
How?
Somebody that I...
How did you put your life on hold for Kira? That's just ridiculous. Like, first of all, what life do you have to put on hold? Like, let's be real. You play video games in your grandma's attic, and you do sing-along karaoke videos. Like, you're not having a life to hold on to by any stretch of the imagination. And this whole Kira being beautiful thing is ridiculous. Like that woman is just she's got a shape to her, and it's very disgusting. This woman is gross. But again, what can Cyraxx hope for, honestly?
Walked away from everything I had dreamed of. And I don't think you guys really realize how close I was to living my dream and making it a reality.
Oh, you were so
I
close,
had hit every
Cyraxx.
mark on the YouTube algorithm count to be able to get monetized. All I had to do was wait out a couple months and whatnot, because I had a warning on my channel and whatnot, and I was just waiting that out. And then I would have been able to apply for monetization. I was so close to making my dream a reality that I was actually excited. But I walked away from that for my ex Kira. I walked away from that to be a fiance and to be a future husband to her, and to be a dad to her son Callum, and to be that life partner, to live that normal life that I had.
So it's not your fault that you took down Rax Nation. It's not your fault that you were this close to being monetized and you just walked away from it. You know, it's Kira's fault. So once again, you're the victim in all of this. You can't take responsibility for any of your own actions. Like if to sit there and say that Kira had this massive problem with your YouTube channel and decided to make this ultimatum where it was her or your fucking Rax Nation being monetized and you chose her, that's ridiculous. You're a fucking whipped little bitch if that's the case. Like to sit there and say you can't have both is unreal. Like you, especially when real money was being involved. Like you were this close to being monetized, Cyraxx. Like your dream. That's what you've worked so hard for 8 years, and all of a sudden you're just gonna walk away from it. Wow, what a noble guy you must be. Fucking gross.
On for since all this craziness started. Since all this chaoticness started, I had always wanted that sense of normality where I could do my job as a content creator but still have that sense of peace and still have that sense of like, hey, I not only have my job that I love, I'm not only a content creator and I love what I do, but I'm also able to be myself and be normal and not have to worry about it. I can do my job, put out content, and, live my life. And still be normal. And still have my friends and still have the people that I care about around me. Because I can't tell you how many times when I made content videos, back when I was doing the racing videos, or back when I was doing all that content on the Rax Nation channel that, like I said, has since been taken down by me personally. How many times her son Callum would always ask me, hey, can you upload a new video? Hey, he would always ask me, when are you doing another racing video, Daddy? When are you making another video?
Okay.
When are you doing
Yeah.
another horsey video, referring to Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah, okay. I'm sure Colin was just watching your channel, chomping at the bit, waiting for waiting for you to upload the latest fucking gameplay video or your shitty racing streams. Like, come on, man. Let's be real. You can't play any of these video games. You always play on easy mode, and you suck every time you play these games. You crash all over the place whenever you race anything. It's not good. It's not going to get any child's attention long enough for them to go, when are you going to put out another video? You're not Jacksepticeye. You're never going to be Jacksepticeye. Get over it.
Like he would love, like that little boy loved the videos that I made. Like he would watch them religiously. Like every day I uploaded a video, he'd be right there watching it either before school or after school. 9 times out of 10, it was usually after school because he usually didn't have a whole lot of time in the mornings. But, you know, it's the little things like that that I enjoyed. Like, I enjoyed being a dad. I enjoyed having that opportunity to be able to do that. You know, and don't get me wrong, I will always miss that little boy, but I will also miss Kira too, yes. But I also know, because I had this conversation with a friend of mine, you know, I have to do what's best for me and I have to let them both go. As hard as that is, I have to do that for the betterment of myself. Now, whether he reaches out to me when he gets older, that's on him. You know,
What kind of sick fantasy is that? You're hoping that this boy's gonna, like, the love that you guys shared between each other was so strong that he's gonna not forget about you, and years later he's gonna reach out and try to have some kind of relationship, as if you had any kind of impact on his life in any way, shape, or form, is disgusting and twisted.
and I've had this discussion with Callum. Like, for a 5-year-old, he's actually very smart. He's actually a lot smarter than what people think he is. This boy literally skipped a grade, okay? This boy literally went from preschool to straight up first grade. Like, this boy is smart. Like, he's actually very smart, very, very bright.
I don't want to shit on the boy by any stretch of the imagination, but, like, okay, he skipped a grade. That's great. Good for him. It's kindergarten. Like, really? Like, okay, so what did he skip that made him so advanced that he went to first grade right away? Come on, let's be real. It's not like he skipped all of high school and went straight to college. But whatever. I'm not making fun of the boy.
Honestly, one of the smartest kids I've ever met. You know, and I had that conversation with him where I told him, like, look, if anything happens between me and mommy, just know that when you get older, if you want to reach out to me and contact me, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, because you want to have a relationship with an underage child. That's what you want, and you're grooming this boy into thinking that that's what that's what he wants. It's just disgusting. Like, you said that you don't care. You don't want to. You got to move on from these people. So move on. Stop talking about this child the way that you do. It's just demented.
And that I will always be there, no matter what. And I meant it. Like, when he gets older, if he wants to reach out to me and talk to me about, you know, why me and his mom split, why she left, what happened, I would gladly talk with him. You know, I would gladly have that conversation with him. But right now, I need to focus on myself. I need to do better for myself. You know, I have projects that I've been wanting to work on for a very, very long time. Stuff such as an animated series that I started working on. It's actually an anime series that I started about 4 or 5 years ago that I started to work on the concept of, that I'm finally able to start slowly bringing that vision to life, which I'm super excited about.
How?
Like, I'm super excited about that.
How are you going to bring this animated series to life? You don't have any connections with animators. You can't do anything. What is it all going to be AI generated bullshit? It's not gonna work out.
I can't really go into much detail of that because I want it to be a surprise for you guys whenever it does release. Like, I want you guys to be able to have that surprise. But, you know, I've been working on stuff like that. I've also been working on a book talking about everything that I've been through. You know, and how everything has affected my life in many, many ways. Because I'm not going to lie, the hell that I've been through, it's not been easy. There have been times where...
Dude, You've been made fun of on the internet. That's it. That's the extent of the hell that you went through. You've been bullied online. At the worst, that's what happened. You've been bullied online. You haven't been the victim of assault. You weren't raped. You weren't like there wasn't anything that happened to you in any way, shape, or form that could constitute this at all, aside from you being made fun of online.
I've often thought about taking my own life. There have been times where I've even attempted it
This shit
because
again.
I wasn't able to handle what was going on. But then when I sat down with some of my friends and some of my family, and thank God I'm still very good friends with my counselor from 2012, you know, with all of them, you know, I was able to realize, like, I don't need to be doing that. Taking my life over what somebody thinks of me is not worth it. Taking my life over somebody that ultimately doesn't deserve me, that walked out on her own. You know, I don't need to be taking my life over that. Because I was talking to very much a long-time fan who actually is now one of my closest friends. I was sitting down and talking with them earlier today, and they said the same thing, that no person is worth taking your life over. No amount of hatred or disgust or whatever evil thing is going on is worth taking your life over. Because let me tell you, these last several months have been some of the hardest for me. I've lost a lot. I've had to watch, like I said, somebody that I truly loved and cared about walk out of my life. You know, I lost, you know, that person's son who I saw as my own flesh and blood son. Like, even though he's not mine by birth, I still saw him as my own flesh and blood son, because I know what it's like to not have a dad. I know what it's like to not have that father figure in your life that's there to, you know, guide you and, you know, make sure that you're doing good. And for me, it felt good to be able to say that, you know, I had a positive influence on him. And, you know, maybe one day, like I said, maybe one day down the road, he'll, when he comes of age and he's more able to grasp fully what really went on, you know, one day maybe he'll reach out to me and we can talk. And
I've said this already, but I'll say it again. You didn't have that kind of relationship with this boy where he's going to want to reach out. I could see if you were with Kira for years and you guys like actually lived together and you had a relationship, like you're actually the one that you're talking about having, where you actually did raise this boy in the real world, I can understand maybe wanting to reach out at some point in time in the future. I get that. But the problem with you saying it, Cyraxx, is that it never happened that way. So you didn't have that kind of impact in his life where he's going to give a fuck about you. He probably won't even remember your name. Let's be honest.
you know, I can be that father figure again. Who knows? But right now, I need to focus on myself because, like I said, I know I deserve better. I know I can do better, and I know that I can be better. And that's what I want to aim this channel at. Like, I want to aim this channel at not only my recovery and my journey back to who I used to be in the very, very beginning before any of this chaotic stuff happened, but I also want to gear this channel towards inspiring people by showing people that you can go through the worst shit of your life. You can go through the worst stuff ever. Like, you can, you know, lose everything. And there will still be light at the end of that tunnel. I want to show people that it's never too late to chase your dreams. It's never too late to, you know, to get up and make your dreams a reality. It's never too late to change who you are as a person. You know, like, and I want to show that, not only through, my cover shows that I do, not only through my music, um, which, by the way, I actually am working on a alternative rock album, which ironically is going to be named after the channel.
It's not ironic, first of all. It's not like naming an album after your current YouTube channel is not ironic. That's stupid. Don't say that. But I'm working on an alternative rock album, just like how he was working on a metalcore album and a rap album, and he's been doing all these different albums for years now. But he's too afraid of Wance Chokins to put anything actually out. So you'll never hear any actual new music from him. But he's got so many projects in the works. Also, he talks about change. Like his channel is going to be a change in himself and his road to recovery. And how's he going to do that? Oh, by doing his karaoke cover shows, his sing-alongs, and his music. The same shit that he always does. So this channel isn't going to be any different from any of the other ones that he's put out.
And that album, I'm actually currently 4 or 5 songs in.
How? You don't have a computer?
Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, give or take. But, that's why I decided to name this channel what it is. Because like I said, I want to be that inspiration for people that I used to be. I want to be that person that, shows people like, hey, no matter how bad you fuck up in life, there's always a chance to redeem yourself. There's always room for change. There's always room to be a better person. And I want to show that I can be a better person despite all the negative comments, despite all the hatred, despite all the bad shit. I want to show that, I'm not this evil piece of shit human being that people have made me out to be. I want to show that I can actually be that level-headed person. That I can be that fun-loving, fun-having, charismatic, funny, goofy, random, guy that I used to be back in 2016 and 2017 before everything went down. Like, I really want to bring that part of my life back to life. I want to bring that person who I was on my original Facebook, who I was before I started getting attacked. Like, I want to bring that part of my life back from the dead and back to life. And, and hopefully you guys that are new to this and are watching this, hopefully you guys will be here to join me on that journey to see that I'm actually out here trying to do better.
But you're not doing anything
and
different.
People like William Gloryhole that are not evil people, and that is going to be a task. Getting around him and getting back to where I used to be content creation-wise is going to be difficult, but it is doable. I know and very understandingly know that this journey is not going to be an easy one. It's not going to be an easy task. But one thing that I have learned over all the years of dealing with what I've dealt with is that nothing easy is worth doing. And nothing worth doing is ever easy.
What kind of fortune cookie bullshit is that? Nothing easy is worth doing? And nothing worth doing is easy? Isn't that saying the same thing? Nothing about that makes any sense at all. It's fucking stupid.
And I want to show that progression every day of me doing cover shows, inspiring you guys, hanging out with you guys, doing gameplay videos, bringing back the coffee and chill streams I know a lot of you guys used to like, where I would sit down, I would hang out, I'd grab a cup of coffee in the mornings or in the afternoon, and we'd just sit down, we'd just talk, and we'd have fun. Like, that's what I want to get back to, are the fun times.
You're never
Like,
going to get
I don't
that.
want to be stuck in this negativity for the rest of my life. I want to break out of that. I want to break away from that.
I hate to break it to you, Cyraxx, but that's never going to happen at all. You're forever going to deal with the negativity and trolls. That's your lot in life. It's just how it's going to be. Like, no matter how many channels you create, no matter how many times you try to revamp your image, you will forever be associated with the person that you are. And because of that, there's always going to be negativity that's around you. That's just the way it is.
You know, I want to finally start up my merch line where, like I said, I'm not only doing the quotes that I created that have helped me along my journey, but I also want to start working on the clothing line that I started to work on ideas for a while back, which are they're actually two different clothing lines. They're ones that are more of like a gothic anime style inspired vibe for all y'all that are, you know, like myself, if you're like alternative, you know, whether you're, you know, gothic, emo, whether you just like going to Hot Topic, whether you're an anime nerd like myself, you know, like I want to have that clothing brand for you guys, because, I mean, look at me, dude. I wear fucking dark clothes almost all the time.
And you wear them for multiple days on end. This is like the 5th video in a row I've seen you wearing this shirt. It's disgusting. Wash your clothes for once and then put something new on. It's not that difficult.
You seen my fucking shirt, bro? Like, come on. It says, please do not disturb. I'm disturbed enough already. Like, come on. Like, I want to have
Hilarious.
cool stuff that not only that I would wear, but I know you guys would wear as well. For all my coffee drinkers out there, yes, I'm going to have some merch for you guys too. Because I know all y'all out there, all my coffee drinkers, I know that y'all have been wanting some merch for a long time now. I will be working on some merchandise for that. Maybe even some stickers, I'm not sure yet. But, you know, hopefully I can get around all this to where I can start making that merch again. You know, and have that kind of stuff for you guys. And who knows? I may even launch some of my artwork into an art book or something. Who knows? Because I do definitely want to start releasing my darker artwork as prints. Because I do have a lot of dark artwork that I've been working on that I would like to release as prints. Some of them, you know, I would like to definitely, you know, have, say, an art book full of my artwork, you know, put into it and self-published and released through that. I definitely would like to have that happen as well. But like I said, for right now, my main goal is to get to that point. We are not at that point yet. We are at the starting line. So, you know, there is that. But, yeah, I just wanted to come on here and explain to you guys what I plan on doing for this channel, what I'm excited for, and hopefully those of you that, you know, do stick around and join me on this journey, you know, hopefully you guys, you know, are able to get some sort of inspiration. Hopefully I'm able to help you guys in some way. I will be doing I will actually be starting a podcast too on the side. I will be starting a podcast too where I dive into the psyche and the psychological aspects of how trolling leads to bad stuff. I will be doing that as well. So I'm definitely excited for that. But with that being said, guys, I love you guys. I'm about to sit down and eat dinner and watch one of my favorite YouTubers who I just seen posted a live, not a live video, but a new video. So I'm gonna go watch that, eat dinner, and anyways, guys, I love you guys. And as of right now, as of As of here on April 19th, 2025 at 9:05 p.m., my full journey to recovery has officially started. So, your boy's about to be back to his old ways here soon enough. It's definitely gonna be a struggle, but I know I got a great support team. I got great friends.
No, you
I
don't.
got an amazing family to help keep me going. So here's to me being on the full road to recovery.
Cheers, I guess.
I love you guys, and I will see you guys either later tonight or tomorrow morning for a video or a live show. I'm not sure which yet, but I love you guys, and like I always say, stay humble, stay positive, keep being yourself, and just remember, nothing is worth taking your life over.
Does he always say that? Like, that's the first time I've ever heard him say those words at all. I don't think that's a common catchphrase for Cyraxx. You know, maybe that's a bumper sticker or something that he can do for his future merch. God, what a crock of shit that whole thing was, wasn't it? Like, here are my plans for the channel. I'm going to revamp myself and get this whole new image, but I'm not going to do anything different, and I'm going to hope that that's going to make the changes that I need. It's unreal. He's got no actual expectations or goals. He doesn't have a plan for how he's going to do any of it. So it's just going to end up being the same bullshit that we know from Cyraxx. I would like to hear his podcast, though. Like, just like the Second Chance podcast or that other one that he recently did where he only does like 2 episodes of them before he gets tired of it. Like, stick with something. Do something and stick with it, you fucking moron. But that's going to wrap it up for this week, guys. I appreciate you taking the time to come out here and enjoy that with me. You know, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on X over at Worst of Pod. You guys know the drill at this point. I don't have to say it to you over and over again. But that's going to wrap it up. And until next time.